Hello and welcome back to my video, and welcome to my videos. If you're new here, I'm Jahan, and today I'm going to give you a skincare update because I've just had my next dermatologist appointment. So if you like this type of thing, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like because it really helps my channel. So I'm going to give you today a update on my skincare. So if you don't know, I am a patient of Dr. San's clinic, which I'll leave in the description box below. She's a very well-known dermatologist, and I see Dr. Emma and in the clinic. So there's 4 dermatologists in the clinic, and I see Dr. Emma. I've been seeing Dr. Emma since January 2020 actually, and we've just been going through this skin, I hate the word journey, but let's call it a skin journey of basically clear skin, but more importantly hyperpigmentation. So just a very quick background, because I do have a full skin video on my channel which I'll link in the cards above here. But my skin, basically, I have oily skin. I've always had clear skin until I got pregnant with my daughter, and I broke out quite badly. And then I was left with lots of hyperpigmentation, and as well as melasma, which is really common due to pregnancy hormones. So I was left with that as well. And then when I had my son, my skin was really, really good. It felt like some of my melasma had faded a bit as well. I think it's just, again, different hormones, different children, that kind of thing. But afterwards I was left then with just some underlying scarring and melasma as well. So the last few years, it's always kind of bothered me because I really like just the minimal makeup look. I have always liked minimal makeup looks. But it was just really bothering me, and I thought, look, I'm in a position now where I can really tackle this, and I had spent so much on skincare trying to resolve it myself that sometimes it's just better to see a dermatologist. So I have been seeing Dr. Emma for 2 years now, almost 2 years, or actually 2 years, and she's given me the next update. So we've tried quite a few things, and it's got steadily better, and it's improved along the way. There was a little bit of a setback, and then it improved again. So now we're on the next stage of my skincare. So for the next 3 months, this is going to be my plan that she's given to me. So first of all, we got there, she cleaned my skin, and she had a good look at my skin under a microscope. And I went in there again telling her that, again, pigmentation marks are still bothering me because they're not as faded as I hope they would be. And also that I felt like I was breaking out a little more than I would usually break out. So because of that, and because we've tried quite a few topical things on my skin for breakouts, acne spots, that kind of thing, including Durac, which I think is benzoyl peroxide or something like that. I'll put it again below, and it's in that skin video, and some other topical things. She wanted to then just see whether I would consider oral medication. So nothing like Roaccutane or anything like that, because that's not what she thinks my skin needs. My skin is incredibly oily, and she wanted to see whether, well, she basically said that some of the spots being produced, when she looked at my skin, it looked like my pores were blocked and things, and it's because of how much oil my skin produces. She asked me if it bothered me, and to be honest, most people with oily skin, I think because you've lived with it forever, it doesn't really bother you. And for me, it doesn't really bother me. I don't feel it anymore. I retouch my makeup if I feel like I need to. I don't really care whether my skin looks really oily. You just know how to deal with it along the way, basically. So she went through 2 possibilities for the oral option, and one of them was hormone, and it basically increases testosterone, which lowers the oils in your skin, because men tend to have less oily skin than women. So that's what that one did, and that would be a course of 3 months, or a very, very low level of antibiotic, which would also help clear the skin as well. So we had a really good talk with her. I told her my concerns around hormones. She said it would be similar to being prescribed the pill when you were younger for your skin and that kind of thing, which for me, I was prescribed the pill when I was 16 for my skin, for I had some breakouts here and here. When I say I've always had clear skin, it was just like a small bout of not having clear skin, but that kind of settled on its own. I think it was more of like learning a regime when I was that young, that was all, because I was still new into skincare and things, and it wasn't really a thing like it is now when I was younger. So the idea of doing something with hormones again, it didn't appeal to me at all. I remember feeling really sick on the pill. I don't like that kind of thing. I'm going to do an update on health, another video, separate video anyway, on things that I'm focused more on. And hormone health through food is really important to me, and I don't really want to put anything like that to mess up my hormones right now, or potentially have some adverse effects to hormones. So what I decided to go for was for the antibiotic. It's very low level, and I have got a really good what's it called? Probiotic as well that I'm going to take with it. It's called California Gold, and I got it from iHerb. So I'm going to take that alongside that just to counteract any gut issues that antibiotics may have. But it's a very, very low level antibiotic as well. And I saw instant improvement from taking that after 2-3 days. My skin was absolutely clear. So any bumps that I had coming up on my skin or anything that was sitting on my skin, it went straight away. So I'm going to just show you my new regime. Some of these products I've shown you before and you will be familiar with because I've shown them to you many times, and some are new, potentially new. So I start off my cleansing every morning with a Dr. Sam's Flawless Cleanser. I cannot recommend this cleanser enough. It's £16. I get it sent to me every 7 weeks. This is such a good cleanser. I am so over the oil cleansers. I haven't used oil cleansers for a good couple of years, and even if I'm wearing eye makeup, a lot of eye makeup, I prefer to use micellar water and then go in with this. The reason why I prefer this to oil cleansers is because it especially if you've got oily skin, it doesn't clog the pores. I'm not scrubbing at my skin with a exfoliating muslin cloth or anything like that, because I do actually think sometimes you do exfoliate harder with washcloths than you realise, and I'm not pulling at my skin when I use this. It really takes everything off in one wash. You don't have to double cleanse with this, but if you prefer to, you can, but you really don't have to with this. You do 1 pump in the morning and 2 pumps in the evening from makeup and dirt, that kind of thing, but I love this cleanser. I don't think I will ever really use anything else because it does everything you need in a cleanser, and it doesn't strip your face. It's non-foaming, it's gel, but it really doesn't strip your face. Actually, your skin feels really good after you use this, not tight or anything. So I still use this in the morning and in the evening. Then after this, my morning routine is now the vitamin C that I use, which is Paula's Choice. This is also in my video. This is my favourite vitamin C. I've spoken about the more expensive vitamin Cs that I've tried, which are double the price. So the Skin Cuticles one is about £110 or just over £100. I much prefer this one. It's £49. You can get it on Cult Beauty or directly from Paula's Choice, and there's always an offer on one or the other. I got this on Cult Beauty using the app this time, so I got 15% off. This is great. It doesn't spoil quickly as long as you really make sure you keep it tight. I keep mine in my wardrobe because that's where I keep my skincare, where all my skincare sits, so it's not in the light or anything like that, and it lasts me until the next bottle. Basically, it doesn't go too yellow. It obviously darkens a bit through some oxidization, but it doesn't oxidize as much as the cheaper ones do. And then after that, I use the Dr. Sam's Flawless Neutralizing Gel, and this is a real game changer. So if you don't see a dermatologist but you do have breakouts, especially around monthly cycles and periods, or you just tend to some sporadic breakouts, this is a real game changer. This has squalane, it has salicylic acid, it has sodium hydroxide in it, patchouli. This is amazing. When I say that if I've got spots coming under my skin, or so I keep looking out the window because there are 2 magpies that's listening right by there. If you have any kind of breakouts, or you can feel stuff coming up under your skin, if you put this on, the next morning they're either gone or massively reduced, and you can wear this daytime and nighttime and it sits really well under makeup. So I put a line of this, so what I mean by line, like a fingertip full across my whole face, and yeah, I'm sorted. I love this stuff. This is £28 from Dr. Sam's, but if you get anything and you have issues with breakouts, or it helps also even out your skin, then I would recommend you get this as well. Even if you don't get anything else from the range, this is probably one of the best releases she's done. And then I will do my sunscreen. Sometimes I will moisturise, sometimes I won't. Like I said, I've got quite oily skin, so I don't really, my sunscreen can sometimes double up as, for me, enough moisturiser for my face, and it still protects my skin barrier. My skin barrier isn't compromised when I look and I take my makeup off in the evening. So if I am going to use a moisturiser, it's going to be the Dr. Sam's moisturiser, which is this one. I've also given you in my skincare video and in my morning routine a variety of moisturisers that I do use, which are lighter as well, because this is a thicker moisturiser and I like to use that when I'm using retinols and in my retinol phase. So I use that one just because it just gives your skin a bit more of a hug when you're first going back onto retinols and that kind of thing. But otherwise I'm using my sunscreen, which is the Antibiotics one. This is my favourite everyday one. It's affordable and you can get it from Boots. Again, it's always on offer. Yes, it does feel a little bit oily on the skin, but it does soak in. They do one for oily skin, which I don't like the texture of as much. I find that quite drying, but this doesn't leave a white cast, and I really like this one. I think I've been using this for years now. I recommend this to most people. So I think if you can get access to it, they do it in the US as well, then this is a really good sunscreen. So the antibiotics that they put me on is called, is it lime saline, this one. It comes in this box. Let me just cover up here. So this is the antibiotics that they've put me on here, so you can see up close. And you basically take one a day. You're not allowed to take iron tablets or zinc tablets 2 hours before or afterwards, which is fine for me. And yeah, so taking one of these for 3 months. So I'm on this for 3 months, and then we're going to assess my skin, have a look at it, see what's going on there. So my evening routine hasn't changed that much. Basically, it's quite similar. So I wash with the Dr. Sam's again. Love this cleanser, I'm not going to go on about it again. And then what I do is I like to tone with some kind of acid toner. So either the ordinary glycolic toner or the Pixie Glow Tonic or the Ole Henriksen Dark Spot Remover. So I like to use one of those. And the reason why I've introduced that there is because I saw another dermatologist who works for Aboji, I think that brand. I will put a link again down below, who uses hydroquinone, and she says that introducing those sort of ingredients with the hydroquinone can actually speed up the effects and help the effects, especially if you've got particularly stubborn skin, which I do. What I do is I tone with one of those, or I exfoliate with one of those rather than tone, and then I'm back on the Pigmenorm cream, which is this one here, which is a hydroquinone cream, and I think it's a hydroquinone and steroid. So you only use this for 3 months, and it has to be prescribed because hydroquinone is sold on the black market very much still, and if you don't do it through a dermatologist and know the percentages that you're using, you could seriously damage your skin for life. So I'm on this for 3 months, which will help fade out the dark marks. And this was a really nice happy compromise, because the beauty of going to see somebody like Dr. Emma is that you tell her, and she asks you questions like, how much is your skin bothering you? And she just wants to know honestly, so she knows, okay, maybe we could be a bit faster here or slower here. And it's quite an honest and like quite raw, open discussion about your skin. And she's seen it all, so there's no need to be embarrassed about it. And it's difficult, but she's seen it all. And she said that the antibiotics plus the Pigmenorm, it was a good compromise, because for her, she really wants to tackle the breakouts, and I really want the even skin, so I don't have to think about makeup all the time when I'm going out, and I can lay off the heavier foundations and things. So she said that was a really happy compromise. She's going to see what happens. I'm seeing her again in June, which is when the next update, dermatologist update, will be. But I would recommend Dr. Emma and Dr. Sam's clinic for dermatology. They're based in Harley Street in London. They do online appointments, or they were doing them during lockdown as well. But yeah, I would recommend them. The next phase after this, when my Pigmenorm runs out, I'm going to put the retinol back on again. So I've got 2 tubes of the Pigmenorm, and when that runs out, I'm going to go back on the tretinoin that I was on. Then I will go and see her in June for like a more formal update to see what's going on with my skin. But I really hope you found this video interesting, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.